WWE planning more returns for Saturday night's main event. Plus, we are going to have to talk about SmackDown not being 3 hours. Might be a delay. We'll talk about that. Plus, some major plans for a WWE single star. I'm excited about it. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. All right, y'all. So I want to kick things off with Finn Balor. WrestleVotes came out with a very interesting report. He says, as we approach the 10-year anniversary of Finn Balor in WWE, sources tell us he solidified himself as a true locker room leader over the past year or so. In addition, we are also told to expect a sustained singles push for Finn as we head into 2025. Now, obviously, I'm extremely excited about this news because I am a massive Finn Balor fan. I have been talking about this on my live streams. I've been tweeting it out. I have not necessarily been happy with this new version of the Judgment Day. I just personally am not entertained by it. I think it's kind of ran its course. It's just one of the things in WWE that I personally do not care about anymore. However, I really enjoy Finn Balor's work, and obviously I really want Finn Balor to be a world champion. I feel like he was cursed ever since the Universal Championship win. We've never seen him back in the world title picture. I want him back in the world title picture. So I'm very glad to see that WWE is also high up on Finn Balor, and they also have big plans for him moving forward. Now, with that being said, though, I do want to talk about this because with Finn Balor, I feel like he can go out there and do a lot of great things. But honestly, in order for him to do all these great things that I want to see, he can't be with the Judgment Day. And I know the Judgment Day is kind of teasing some some tension, and it sounds like maybe they could be all splitting up relatively soon. But I think the sooner that they get Finn Balor away from the Judgment Day, back to doing his own thing as a singles guy, bring back the Demon character. This guy has a little bit of a swagger to him. Come up with something new, revolutionize the character, revive the Demon, restore the Demon character. The last time we saw the Demon character, Vince McMahon basically screwed it over. So I really, really want WWE to fix that. I want WWE to go above and beyond with their efforts towards Finn Balor. But I also want to point out one more thing about Finn Balor. He's not getting any younger. And the fact that he's a locker room leader 10 years in, obviously it's fantastic news. I'm glad that people respect him. I'm glad that WWE respects him. Let's freshen things up in the title picture, especially the World Heavyweight Championship. You got guys like Braun Breaker who are going to be your future. They don't need to be rushed into the world title scene. Gunther's holding the belt now. Obviously, Damian Priest, Finn Balor are going to have their feud, but at some point, it would be a good idea for Finn to become world champion. So that's what I want to see. That's what I'm hoping for. You can't rush it, but you got to go back to restore the character the way it should have been, and we'll see, obviously, what happens. Okay, next topic. WWE SmackDown. This is where things get really interesting. We've been told this entire time that SmackDown will be moving 3 hours on the same week that Raw begins on Netflix. Now, WrestleVotes on Sportskeeda's Backstage Pass Patreon has noted that WWE's plan is still to do 3-hour SmackDown at some point. However, there is no guarantee that it's going to be happening during that same week. They say it is to be determined if it will go down to the first week of 2025 when Raw shifts or later on in the month. Now, the reason why I'm even talking about this is because there has been a lot of confusion about SmackDown and what's going to be happening with SmackDown moving forward. Obviously, with WWE Raw going to Netflix, that seems to be where all the concerted effort is going. And obviously, that makes a lot of sense. Now, with WWE moving Raw to Netflix, there is a shift in how WWE is going to be viewing these programs. Obviously, Raw will be viewed as the A show. It's going to be the primary show for WWE because it will be more accessible in more homes. Now, obviously, that means SmackDown will take a back seat to WWE Raw, right? Well, I think WWE needs to get away from that perspective. I think WWE needs to put these shows on a level playing field. And I think WWE needs to treat SmackDown just as important as it is to Raw, even though it's on a different TV network. So I want to see WWE have a more uniformed idea of how they're going to be moving things forward. I also think it's a really big deal for WWE to make sure that SmackDown in the process isn't looking any worse than Raw. So obviously SmackDown got rebranded. We saw the new graphics, the new logo, but whatever changes are expected for Raw on Netflix, I want to see that being brought over to SmackDown. I also really want WWE to not go to 3-hour SmackDown. I know this sounds crazy because for a while I was like, hey, let's do 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. But now that I'm like actually enjoying 2-hour Raws, I think WWE Raw and SmackDown should remain 2 hours. I know that's not going to be a popular opinion because WWE will do 3 hours for both shows, but I am starting to realize that I think 2 hours is completely fine. I also think for SmackDown being 3 hours, I think it should happen the same week as Raw on Netflix, because whatever momentum WWE has from Raw can carry over to SmackDown. And I would like to see WWE have that momentum. And I'm sure the USA executives would be quite happy with that too, because WWE, even though Raw won't be on USA, whatever happens on Raw should be able to intrigue fans enough to say, hey, now I need to go watch SmackDown. So whatever it is, hopefully SmackDown at that point would be 3 hours to be all cohesive with the WWE programming that week. Now, I also want to just make one last point about SmackDown. There's been no talks about the brand split. So as of now, the brand split remains, but I'm just saying don't be shocked if you see it go away, because I think WWE, they're going to try to make something happen with all of this. So pay attention. And that brings us to our final topic. Oh my God, I don't want to talk about this. Hulk Hogan. He's expected back for Saturday night's main event, and WWE is planning on bringing him back for Saturday night's main event. There's a couple other names, obviously, that have been confirmed that we've talked about. But you guys need to know that WWE is planning on having more people show up for Saturday night's main event, and this is one of them. Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart. We know, obviously they have that connection. Obviously, WWE is going to be planning it. I saw one more. Who else was it? There was one more name. Wendy Richter was one that was also being considered for a return. Obviously, WWE is trying to stack Saturday night's main event. 4 matches have been confirmed so far. They're going to add one more. Obviously, WWE simulcasting it on NBC and Peacock. This is obviously a big deal for WWE. Plus, Saturday night's main event will be available in January as well. Listen, WWE is going to do what WWE does. I don't think we need Hulk Hogan on WWE programming. I'm sure the USA executives want this. I'm sure they want Hulk Hogan. He's a very recognizable name. My belief is like the show is going to have a throwback feel to it. I understand they're taking that, they're bringing that old school feel back. But we don't need Hulk Hogan, man. We don't need Hulk Hogan. That's what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is it's a stacked card. We got some really good things like that are lined up for it, and I can't wait to watch it. But sometimes I'm not a big fan of the nostalgia. The nostalgia presentation, cool. The nostalgia graphics and all that, cool. Bringing in some legends from time to time, cool. But it's not even like Hulk Hogan's been away from WWE forever. So at this point, just, yeah. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think down below.